Okay, YouTubers, this is Even Ball. It is January 20th, 2016, and here's the rest of the games that I picked up at the end of the year last year. Okay, so on my last video, I had a whole bunch of Super Nintendo games that I found. I was just really fortunate. And on this video, I'm going to start off with another batch of Super Nintendo games I got all in one fell swoop. I found more at a Goodwill of all places, locally, while I was on vacation. And it's just in the middle of the day. I decided to go down there, and what do you know? They just happen to have a whole bunch of them. And I'm going to put the picture of the site that I saw as the picture for this video, so you'll probably see it right there. But I'll tell you what I got from it. First up, I have Yoshi's Safari, which is a Super Scope game. I don't have a Super Scope yet, so I'm not sure if I can play this yet, but I need to get all the Super Scope games. I think I've got most of them, and this should be pretty good. And they get a lot better from there. So let's go straight to Final Fantasy II. Yes, I've never owned Final Fantasy II, actually. I used to rent this game back in the day, but this is the first time I've ever owned this game, and $10, that's a pretty good deal for that. Here's a game that I played through. It only took me about 2 days, but ActRaiser for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, it's $6 and pretty good deal for that. And this game goes by really quick, and it's a very easy game, but it's a lot of fun, as many of you know. And here's another copy of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I got one last month, and I got another one. This one's a label upgrade. It's not only original label version instead of greatest hits, but it's also got a much better condition label. So I'm probably going to get rid of the other one and keep this one. And the last one is Illusion of Gaia, which is a semi-sequel to Soul Blazer, more like just they're kind of a loosely connected series, but yeah, this is a great game and very common, but it's a lot of fun. Okay, and what would a weekend gaming pickups video be without some Gamecube games? Because I am really working on that Gamecube collection. It's the only collection that I'm really looking forward to completing, really. But I got another 4, so let's start off with the first one, which is Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. It's just $2 and a pretty good deal for a pretty good game. I do have the Xbox version, which is supposedly superior, and if I do play this game, I'd probably play it on the Xbox because it's just got a lot more effects, and it's just a much better looking game. But this, I don't know if this is unique to this version, but I'll see. It says all new jungle level, but we'll see about that. The next one is the last of the Sims games that I needed, which is The Sims 2 Pets. Yeah, for some reason they came out with a lot of Sims 2 add-ons, but Pets is, as far as I know, is the only one that came out on the GameCube. So it should be good. And a couple of games which probably won't be great, but I had to get them anyways. American Chopper Full Throttle. American Chopper 2 Full Throttle, actually. I don't know too much about this game. I guess you build motorcycles and ride them. Well, we'll see about that. And another one, which is The Ant Bully, which is based off of a movie that came and went, and nobody cares about this film, but it might be a fun game. Some of these movie license games are okay, at least. Alright, so the next batch of games is for various systems. Let's start right off with the first PS Vita game that I've ever gotten, which is Soul Sacrifice. Yeah, it's not the one that's on the cover. It's actually a completely different game inside than what it says it is, but that's okay. Soul Sacrifice is supposed to be a pretty good game, and Resistance Burning Skies, I'm sure that's going to be fine too if I ever find that one. But I'd rather play Soul Sacrifice actually. That one looks like a lot of fun. And this is the first time I've ever gotten one of these games, but I thought I may as well go ahead and grab it. It's Sonic the Hedgehog for Digi, or Dig, or whatever, custom gaming system. Yeah, this is just basically it's a remixed Sonic the Hedgehog game with some spelling games in the middle of it. But it actually looks like a fun Sonic game. It's basically just old school Sonic with some weird ideas around it. So I'll take a look at that if I ever find one of these gaming systems. I'm sure I see all sorts of these VTech gaming systems out there and other ones, so eventually I'll come across one that I'll purchase. And I have a Wii U game, which was brand new. It's Shovel Knight. Yeah, I once I saw this, these were cheap. You know, it was only about $30 or $40 or so, and I've been wanting this game. Actually, I have not played it yet, and I've heard a lot of great things about it. So I thought I may as well get a nice physical edition copy of the game, because I really didn't want to download a game that's I've heard is this good. So that's going to be great. And I got a couple PlayStation 2 games here. First up is the original SSX from EA Big, and you know, I think this is also on the GameCube, and I'll eventually get the GameCube version, but I hear this one has better FMV cinematics. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. I love these snowboarding games that are just bigger than life, and this one was a huge hit back in the day, and it was a hit for a reason. It was very good. And the second PlayStation 2 game is one that I've been wanting to get for a while, and to get it for $3 is pretty good. It's R-Type Final. I want to get all these R-Type games because I love R-Type. I love these shooters. And this is the last one, and it's a great shooter. Okay, now I also have some Xbox games that I'm going to show. So the first one I have is Destroy All Humans. This is a very funny game where you're playing as an alien to killing humans, and I don't have any of these. This is the first one I've ever purchased of this series. I know there's a bunch of these Destroy All Humans games. So Xbox version looks like it should be pretty good, so I'll give it a shot. And I found this for $2. Actually, that was $2 too, but I found this for $2 as well. This is Doom 3 Limited Collector's Edition, which has the original Doom on it, it looks like. And this is in pretty good shape. I don't see any dents on it or anything, and it's got the slipcover, and it was just $2. So I thought I may as well grab this one. Doom 3 is a lot of fun. Okay, next up is the Xbox game Zathura, or Zathura, I don't know how you pronounce this. This is based off the movie about a board game that comes to life or whatever, just like Jumanji, and this is basically related to that. But this, I decided to get this game. I mean, no, it's just a a licensed title, but I'm wanting to get all the Xbox games that support 720p. So this game is in high definition, even though it's on the original Xbox, and I'm wanting to get all of those because if you're going to play any of these games, play the high definition Xbox versions. They're a lot better that way. And there's a few, even though there's games like that aren't all that great, there's some other good games that could really use it. This one's True Crime Streets of LA. This one's also 720p. Both the True Crime games for the Xbox are in 720p. Let me get... There we go. And HD TV 16:9. So this is the best way to play this game, as far as I'm concerned. And one more game which is not in 720p, but I've always wanted to get the Xbox version of this. It's Silent Hill 2 Restless Dreams. I've played this game on the PlayStation 2 many times. The Xbox version has some extra content on it, and it looks a little bit cleaner. So glad to get this version. And I have an Xbox 360 game here, which I've been wanting to get for quite a while. It's 99 Nights, the first one. It's a big hack and slash type game, and should be a lot of fun. And one Wii game, which I have had on my radar for a very long time, and I'm glad to finally get it. It's A Boy and His Blob. Yeah, the update to the old David Crane classic game, and from way forward. And this game has some incredible animation. It's just a lot of fun. It's a really good game. Okay, and I've got one more batch of games to round up this episode and round out the year. So let's start off with the one PlayStation 1 game I got, which is Tomb Raider Chronicles. And I'm trying to get all these PlayStation 1 Tomb Raider games as much as I can. So this is the 5th one, and I have the first one and the 5th one. I need to get all the ones in between. But this is one of my favorite of the Tomb Raider games. This one's actually a very good game, and it looks great on the PlayStation, actually. And I have one Genesis game, which unfortunately isn't complete, but it was pretty cheap. It's about $3, so I thought I may as well grab it. It's Jurassic Park for the Genesis. There is a better version of this game that came out a little bit later, a updated version. But this version is perfectly fun to play. I mean, it's just a fun platformer, and looks great. So yeah, I don't mind it at all. It's still a lot of fun to play this game. All right, now I've got some Nintendo DS games here. First one is Okami Den, the sequel to Okami for the PlayStation 2 and Wii. And it's the fun wolf game where you draw on screen. And this is the DS sequel to it, and everything's really shrunken down and made, chibi style, and it's really cute. And I know this is going to be a great game. And I got a Zelda game, Zelda Phantom Hourglass. Toon Link is back, and he's I'm glad he lived on in these Nintendo DS games. And this one should be fun. I don't know too much about this one. I didn't really dive into the DS Zelda games back when they came out. So I'm sure this one's going to be a classic, though. It's pretty good. Looks pretty good. And here's one that I never see out in the wild, but I'm glad to grab it. It's Lunar Nights from Konami and Kojima Productions, actually. Yeah, remember when he used to work for Konami? Well, this game is, I don't know too much about it, but it looks very interesting, and I trust Kojima to make a pretty good game, so I am going to give this one a shot. It looks great. And the final two games I got were Game Boy Advance games, and they were pretty cheap, so let's start right off with Pac-Man Collection, which has a bunch of Pac-Man games on it. Pretty good for $3. And Gunstar Superheroes, which is a sequel to Gunstar Heroes on the Sega Genesis. which is a really popular run and gun game, which is really expensive, but I will eventually grab one of those. But Gunstar Superheroes looks like a fun game for the Game Boy Advanced. So yeah, I'm glad to finally grab it. All right, so that's it for last year, and I will have another video sometime after the end of the month next. So thanks for watching.